Okay, you guys, let's do this. It's going to be so professional. Okay. Like, so professional. Here we go. Well, welcome to the Live Support Podcast with your hosts, Michele VanDusen and June Colson, a couple of clean comedians who support each other and others through comedy's wacky and winding roads. I hope you're ready. Get set. Let's go. Since podcasts have a catchy tune, we wrote this song for Michele and June. Clean comedians are best friends too. Oh, it's so good. And you never know what they'll say or do. Here we go, sing with me on Live Support. With Michele, who's really short. We'll have a ball. With June, who's really tall. They have fun, interviewing comedians on Live Support. With Michele, who's really short. Now they have their catchy tune. If Michele jumps high, she's eye to eye with June. Let's be clear, June's tall and Michelle's real short. And now it's time to start Live Support.
The Live Support Podcast is brought to you by the Hot Breath Comedy Network.
Welcome to the award-winning Live Support Podcast. I'm your host, June Bug Colson, here with Michele with one L, Trisha's sister, Rhonda Colson, Corey's friend. Do not call me Shelly, Michele VanDusen. Hey. We're here, VanDusen. How you doing?
Oh, I'm good. I'm really excited about today. Today's going to be so exciting. I can't wait for our guest.
I just realized I hadn't turned on Do Not Disturb. I should probably do that because we're professional here at the Live Support Podcast. It's going to be a great episode today. You are correct, Miss VanDusen. I'm so like, listen, when we know it's going to be a really good episode, we know that sometimes I don't want to give credit to the lowercase D word, but he tries to stop us sometimes from some of these good podcasts that we're doing. And that ain't going to happen today. So my power has gone out like 2 or 3 times. And I'm like, no. So if I happen to disappear, the enemy's not going to stop us. You just keep doing what you got to do and do this interview. So yeah, how you doing today? How we feeling? We feeling good? Both of us have had a little scratchy throat. The fall has gotten to us. How about now? You all right?
Yeah. It's, the warm liquids. Actually, I am drinking hot lemon water.
Yes.
Just clearing it all up. And if I pop in a throat thingy, just go on, keep interviewing as I suck on a lozenge. Okay,
so now if my power goes out and you can't speak, then our guest is on their own. But they'll be fine because totally. We have a rock star that we're going to be talking today. I hurried up and made some coffee. The problem was I had a smaller cup in there, and because the power went out and then the Keurig went off, so I was in a panic and I was trying to hurry and get something to drink. I had a smaller cup, so I just caused like a whole waterfall of coffee all over my Keurig. So we're doing good. We got all that out of the way so that we can do okay for this interview.
That's right. That's right.
Mm-hmm. And Michele, you got all the happy faces on. You got your happy face hat on. I see your happy face mug in the back. Coffee wise. So what I've been trying to do, whenever I do shows in a state, whenever I fly in and out at the airport, I always grab one of these cups from Starbucks. Not a sponsor. But I try instead of like getting souvenirs and those kind of things, I like to remember all the different states that I've performed comedy in. And so I grab a cup from that state at Starbucks and they stack really good together and all that. But you know where I've never been able to get a cup at the airport? Tulsa.
You've been here twice.
Starbucks in their airport.
They have one.
Not in the airport.
Yes, they do.
No.
Which wing did you? There's only 2 terminals. Which one did you go down?
We walked both of them, and I even Googled it. While I was there. So if I missed it, so I'm like, okay, the next time I'm just in your town, I have to find a Starbucks and get an Oklahoma cup. You know what's funny? The smallest cup that I have, there was one store that all they had was the espresso cups. and the tiniest cup I have is from Texas.
That's wrong.
Yeah,
That's wrong. That maybe that's why they're a 1-star state,
maybe.
because they have the smallest cups around. Are you
Maybe.
sure?
I'm excited about going to Texas. You just did a show in Texas. I'm about to
Did?
go to Texas. So we're going to talk about that in the future, but I'm going to Waco. Anybody who's heard my comedy knows I have a bit where I talk about Chip and Joanna Gaines. And I'm actually going to get to go to their like Magnolia farm place. So
Actually, when this airs, you've already done the show.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So we'll talk
So,
about in the future episode
okay.
of what that looks like. So that's super exciting. Okay, enough about Texas and coffee cups, and we've got much more
Yes,
important things to do today. We
we
have
do.
a guest. This is their second time being on our show, so that's super exciting. Michele, tell us who we get to interview today.
Okay. Our guest today is a wheelchair actor, comedian, singer, and writer. He was an active thespian in the midst of pursuing an acting career when a near fatal car accident paralyzed him. The beautiful thing is, it did not slow him down from pursuing his dreams. Now, you might remember that Vincent was on season 2 of Laugh Support. It was episode 35. And so we're just going to recommend that you just go back and check out the full inspiring story. Go back and listen to it. It's on YouTube or, wherever you're hearing this from. But that's not all. Okay, June, today we get to catch up with Vincent and see the exciting new chapter, literally, that is unfolding in Vincent's career. Let's welcome back to the Laugh Sport podcast, the author of the brand new book, Elijah and the Potter, Vincent Rutley.
You
Hey,
guys know how to make somebody feel like somebody.
you are somebody.
You is somebody.
My sisters, love you both. So good to see you guys. Thank you for having me.
Vincent, this is so exciting to have you on the show. As Michele said, you are on our second season. Crazy enough, we are in the 6th season of Laugh Support. You were part of our second season. Very powerful, super fun interview that we had back then. And now we get to have you back because you have a whole new project that you've
Yes.
been working on, and it is coming to life. So, Vince,
Yes.
tell us, as Michele said, you are the author of a brand new book. What is the name of that book,
Yeah.
and what is it about?
So it's so funny. Most people think that my first book was going to be about my story.
Mm.
But God chose a totally different route for me. It's my first children's book, and it's called Elijah and the Potter. Very special story to me. I grew up with nostalgic stories. The Pinocchio story was one of my favorite stories growing up. I was the first Black Pinocchio at my high school at Pontiac Northern. I was out there breakdancing. I was a little chocolate, a little Pinocchio. It was funny. It was hilarious. I brought a whole different spin to it. But for some reason, that story had always resonated from a spiritual standpoint with me, growing up, being a church kid and a PK, preacher's kid. Shout out to all the preacher's kids out there. I always saw faith in everything that I did. I always saw faith in every book that I read, every movie that I saw. And there was no different with the Pinocchio story. And I'm like, this teaches kids about disobedience, about forgiveness, about consequences, and about, right from wrong, about going down the wrong path, instructions. And it also teaches about inheritance. The
Mm.
father's story reminds me very much about the Abraham story, about an older man that wanted a son, that wanted just this child. And I said, well, I can incorporate all these things. And for years, I didn't know how I was going to do it. I thought maybe it was going to be a stage play or something like that. But Elijah and the Potter is about an old man named Oscar Banks who lives in the town of Ur. And after many years of praying for his son, he doubts that if it was ever going to happen. But one night, as the potter, he's preparing for his newest piece that was meant to be a vase. And through a windstorm, it appears to be a face. And he places it down and he goes to bed that night. and that lump of clay miraculously turns into the little boy that he prayed for. And they go on this beautiful journey together as father and son. It's a children's book, it's a rhyme book, but I honestly believe that it's going to educate the children that hear it, but I believe it's going to minister and touch the adults that read it to the children. So there's
Yeah.
something in there for the whole family. We've had readings over the last couple of years getting it ready, all ages, all ethnicities, all backgrounds. The feedback has been overwhelming. So I'm super excited to finally share this story after working on it for 2 years with the world. And I'm blessed that God chose me to tell the story.
I feel like I've got to have a little sneak peek into this journey. Michelle, I don't know if you know this or not, but I called Vincent when I was in Florida, maybe a year or so ago. I can't remember exactly how long ago it was, but I called Vincent. I said, I sent him a message. I go, hey, you got a few minutes to talk. I'm going to be hanging out at this Airbnb for a few days in Florida. We're going to want to run some stuff by you. So I reach out to him, and Michelle and I have been talking about my book on the podcast, several times. And so I reached out to him first, and I was like, man, I'm trying to get this thing going, and whatever. And he just paused and he goes, sis, let me tell you what's going on right now. And he starts telling me the concept for the book, the Pinocchio and the potter's clay and all of that. And immediately I could see it. I could see it because he could see it. And it was already like in development. You know what I mean? And I just remember being so excited to hear that you were creating this book. And then now, like, to get to see it, the animation, the characters. Now, Michelle's going to speak to listening to the audiobook. I've read the book, like looked at the illustrations, and she's done both, but I can't speak to the audio yet. Well, there's one thing I can, but after Michelle talks, I will. But the illustrations are artwork. Like, people, tell us about how you chose that, whoever illustrated it, and the particular style and everything. Like, how did that come about?
I love this question so much. It was a beautiful experience. Being a writer, I had never written a children's book before. I've never written a book before. So I had no idea where I was going to go with this, as far as like how I was going to put this thing together. And as I was writing, I just kept hearing the voice of God say, just write. Don't worry about the images. Don't worry about trying to create this universe. Don't focus on that, because what you're going to do is you're going to take the attention off of where you're most valuable, and that's telling the story. I'm putting together all the other pieces. Trust me through the process, right? So as I wrote the book, my wife, shout out to my amazing best friend, Larice. I love her so much. She's dope, so dope. And it's true that the Bible says, he that findeth a wife findeth favor. She is truly my favorite. My wife is like, dude, this is a great story. I love you're doing your thing, babe. You should call Pastor Kelly. Pastor Kelly is my pastor. Pastor Brandon and Kelly Robeson Worship Life. And Pastor Kelly is an author and a publisher. She self-published multiple books. With this being a faith-based children's book, it would make sense for me to have a faith-based publisher that understands that world and that lingo. I ultimately called Pastor Kelly to get some feedback. So my wife said, send it to Pastor Kelly. I think at that time I only had maybe 7-8 pages of the book written. So it was really early in the process. No, I'm sorry. Maybe half the book. Half the book was written. Called Pastor Kelly. I said, I want to get your feedback. And she was like, read me some of the book. I want to hear it. And I read it like the first 4 pages, and she cried.
Wow.
She said, this is the most beautiful piece of literature I've heard in a long time. She said, I did not tell anybody, but I've started my own Christian publishing company. And now I'm helping Christian publishers produce and create their books. I want this as my first children's book. And immediately God was like, told you. I told you. Don't focus on the heavy stuff. I got people for that. That's what God told me. And this is my word of encouragement to people that's like, I don't know where to start. Just do the part that you're called to do. Like, do the part that you know to do. And what God is not waiting for us to know everything and to do all this research and study. God is saying, you do the part that I've placed in your hands, and I'll begin to unfold all the other people. And that's what he did. When Pastor Kelly came aboard as my publisher, immediately she brought in all the tools of being an author, and she brought in an illustrator, Nathan Monko, which is somebody that I haven't met personally yet. And this is how amazing God works. Nathan Monko was the illustrator that Pastor Kelly chose for the book. She sent him the first 2 pages and said, create what you see. And the first image he sent over was the cover. It became the cover to my book. And it was a potter sitting there looking at this lump of clay with this boy forming out of this lump of clay. And he's looking at it with all this love in his eyes. And immediately I said, I don't know who this guy is. There it is. Woo! Look at that love. Look at that desire. Look at that like faith in his eyes. She's like, man, this is a beautiful thing. That was the sample image that Nathan Monko sent over based off of no conversation, no meeting. He just read the first few pages. So this is what the book does. The book is a rhyme book, and it makes you feel some kind of way. And our illustrator created what he felt, and what he felt was exactly what I needed and what I wanted. And I fell in love with his illustration. I've never had a conversation with this man before. He knows who I am. I know who he is, and that's about it. But God brought me an amazing team, and all he wanted me to do was say yes to doing the part that I do, and I'm a writer. That's what I do. All the other pieces fell in place. So the illustration was a result of the obedience and a result of the vision and the dreams and the planning and all the things that I put in place to prepare. I did decide that God anointed me to do, and everybody else did the rest.
That's so good, man. That's so good. Yeah, when you said don't take the attention off the area you're most valuable in. And I was thinking like you'll know it when you see it, right? He's like, I'll show you. You'll know it when you see it. And you knew immediately that this was the person to illustrate the book. And the story is so beautiful. And the illustrations go so well and just match the beauty of this story. I love that Vincent, the villainous characters that are in it, this is a children's book. But I feel like the illustrator didn't hold back on the intensity of the villain, but not cross the line where it's a scary character, because you don't want that. And that's such a delicate line, in the same way with you creating the character, the words of who this is and what this character is trying to get the little boy to do and all of those things. It was just such a delicate balance of what that needed to be such a good children's book, and also to be engaging for the adults who get to sit down and read it. I know for sure you're getting great feedback from kids. Are you getting feedback from adults as well? We know it moved Kelly, but what about other people? How's that going?
To be honest with you, I'm a little overwhelmed with the adults' feedback so far. It's probably a little bit more grand than I thought it was going to be. They see what I see, they hear what I hear, and I think that's all God, right? God is placing it in the hands of the people who are supposed to lead the charge and to talk about it. And obviously, anybody that's I'm doing interviews with, they have to see the book, they have to hear the audio book. I want to use that as context for the interview. But there's a friend of mine's, a teacher out of Detroit, and soon the book came out, she's a believer, and she's like, I got to read this to my students at my school. So she grabbed it off a Kindle. She sent me over a clip of her reading it to the kids, and just to hear their response, but to also see her excitement in reading the book. It's a character-driven book, so the reader gets to have fun creating their own versions of the voices for the actors.
Yeah.
Obviously, with me being a filmmaker and an actor, I'm doing an audiobook, I'm going all out, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm trying my best to give like this visual. I wanted it to sound like a movie. So I think audiobooks, with that being the new wave, and obviously you can press play for the kids, but how great is it for the adults to just sit in the car and drive from point A to point B, and they can listen to something that's edifying, something that's faith-filled, entertaining as well, without feeling like, oh, it's another VeggieTales song or it's another thing. Oh my goodness, these kids are driving me crazy. It's something that they can enjoy. And I've been getting that feedback from the adults that they're just delighted. It's nostalgic. You know, I come from the 90s. I'm a 90. Well, I was born in the 80s, but I grew up in the 90s. And those to me were the best years of like shows and movies and TV.
Yeah.
Things were so pure and entertaining and light. And I said I wanted to have that same feel. And I'm so glad you brought up the thing about the villain. Even Disney, they have a balance. They understand how to present villains to kids that won't give you nightmares, but at the same time, I wanted it to make the kids think. I wanted to shake them up a little bit. I wanted them to know that, let's go back to Stranger Danger. Let's go back to how we learned, from back in the day. I wanted them to see the character and say, something, something ain't right there. But at the same time, not feel like, oh my God, that's a demon. It's
Right.
you know that balance was very important to me. But at the same time, kids need to know the reality of consequences. And if you don't follow instructions, you're going to fall into a pit. And the sad truth is, not every one of our babies make it home.
Right.
And we got to read the book to find out if Elijah goes out on his journey and through his mistakes, if he makes it home.
Pastor Kelly, Vincent sent her my direction, and she's the reason why my book is getting to come to life. And
Amazing.
I love that woman. I want to write more books just so I get to spend time with her. I'll be so sad when she's not like such a regular part of my life. I love that woman.
Yeah.
You've created a stalker, Vincent. But so speaking of Pastor Kelly, she is, or minister, if I'm saying it wrong, I don't know. I apologize.
Nope.
Either way, I love her. Right. And she knows how goofy I am. She'll probably forgive me. When I saw that she is a voice, she is one of the voices of the character. Not only was she part of the journey, but she became a voice. Now, Michele, I'm throwing to you now because you have listened to the audiobook. I can't wait to do that. So Michele, tell us about your experience with the audiobook and any questions you have for Vincent about that journey.
It was good.
Thanks, Michele. All right, back to us, Vincent.
Back to Michele. No, man. It was so refreshing to hear the production that was behind this book. I mean, you turn it on and it wasn't just like page 2. So then I saw a face that looked like a younger me. Like, it wasn't like that. It was animated. It had background music. It had the highs, the swells, all of it. It was just, the orchestration of it was just brilliantly done. And for how well it's written and how well it's read, you can picture every single moment, even if you don't have the book in front of you. You can picture it. And all I was picturing was, this is an animated series. That's what I see. That's what I'm hearing. Because it took you you knew exactly where you were. You knew that you were on a bus. You knew that you were on the shelf. You knew that you were on the floor. Like, it was just all of these things. You knew what the dove looked like all the things. You just saw it because you wrote it so well. And I don't know who all did the voices. Apparently Kelly did some. And were you the narrator on this?
I was not the narrator.
Okay.
I did play a role, but I was not the narrator. And it's still so funny. First of all, thank you for saying these amazing things. I'm getting chills just sitting over here, and it's weird because I'm hearing back something that I created, but I feel like I'm looking at it from the outside in right now, just hearing you talk
It's
about it.
that good.
That's
Like,
what we
it's
wanted
seriously,
all along.
it's Disney quality, and I say it like that. If Disney was, glorified, if it was, sanctified, I mean, if Disney
Yes.
was sanctified, that's what this is. This reminds me going back to old school Disney when Walt was doing things and his love was pouring into those pages and things. That's how I could hear it and see it. That's what I'm saying. So I love every minute of it. So anyway.
Wow. 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 This is my first review from the audiobook. This is all new. This is all new. And the time that we put into it, the sacrifice, the I edited everything, I produced everything right here in the studio. God was telling my wife and I, hey, my wife is a producer.
Mm,
She doesn't claim to be a producer because she's more of the support side, but she's
mhm,
literally the reason why all my projects come out the way they do.
mm,
And she lets me just vent and talk about characters, and she helped me cast it. Certain people, she was like, this is that needs to be right there. And in the beginning, when you're starting off a journey, it's like, how are we going to do the audiobook? That we have to do an audiobook.
mhm,
There's no way I can write this and it not be an audiobook. And at first, I'm a voice actor, right? Like
yeah,
that's a part of what I do. And I was going to just voice all the characters. And my wife was like, what if we brought in voice actors? And I
mhm.
said, girl, see, now you talking crazy. You talking dirty now. Huh? You talk, you talking real dirty over here. And I like it. And we just sat there one night and we just went through the characters and was like, boom, boom. We didn't do auditions, but we knew who, after working in the industry and collaborating with a few people, we knew who would fit what.
Yeah,
And that's how we like to cast. We like to cast by going through a process of 2-3 years, maybe, I don't know, working on film sets and
mhm,
working with producers and writers and directors and saying, hey, this person would be good for this project. That person would be good. So God literally led us in the casting process. Everybody came to the home studio here. And it got to a point to where it was no longer about saving money, but it was about, you do the side that God anointed you to do.
yeah,
You do studio stuff. You produce. You do music. So you know what you hear. You know what you see. You know what you want them to see while they're listening.
yeah,
So I just put all the bells and whistles in there. It's in the hands of our editor right now. He's having a fun time sprucing up different sound effects and echoes and things like that. And when audio goes out, I truly believe that's going to be the part of the project that leads it right into the next version of what
yeah.
Elijah and the Potter could be.
Yes.
And
So with that being said, what is the next plan for
We're
Elijah and the Potter? I mean, do we stop at the audiobook and the children's book, or do you have more vision for this particular group of characters?
absolutely can't stop at the audio. It started all as an idea, turned into a book. Now it's an audiobook. The audiobook is going to lead us until I don't know exactly yet if we're going to go movie or if we're going to go series.
series.
It has to be animated for sure. And I
And
also see the stage play. I see Elijah and the Potter on stage, the musical. I see the little boy dancing and singing and the father having his songs and things like that. So we're in the talks with some very interesting, exciting supporters right now. We have connections here and there. And God is just opening more doors. No contracts have been signed, no meetings have been done, but the talks have started. And
nice,
everybody
nice.
that's reading it that has a connection there, everybody's saying this is an animated series or an animated movie. So I believe Elijah and the Potter. I don't know if we're gonna have a part 2 of the book, part 3 of the book, part 4 of the book, um, or if we're gonna go straight to visuals. But I'm just enjoying the part of the journey of just finishing the first tier of Elijah and the Potter.
Yeah,
That I try not to put the cart before the horse and go, well, this is where it's going to be, but I know we're going to go animate. That I know for sure. That is a guarantee. Whether it's going to be a movie or series first, I think that's going to depend on the people that God is sending. and what they want to do. So I feel like I've done my part, and now God is going to bring the investors and the studios and the money and whatever we need, because our generation needs stories like this.
Yeah.
And I think that's where my heart is the most full, is being able to present something to this generation that does not have underlining agendas, that does not have any ill will to try to sway anybody any certain way. It's a pure story. It's a clean story. And the more faith-based writers, the better.
Yeah.
That's my true desire. So animation is I believe is in the near future of Elijah and the Potter, but we'll see. It's gonna have to be a follow-up conversation for sure.
Another thing that I loved about the audio was the page turn.
Yeah. So that
I
was a
loved
conversation.
it.
That was a conversation. My wife was like, "Are you sure?" And when I first was creating the audiobook, that was one of the first things in my mind. It was like automatically I wanted to flip back and forth from I'm immersed in the story, and then you hear the page flipping. Oh my God, I forgot this is a book. Oh yeah, yeah. So it's this really cool back and forth, this natural sound of that page flipping. And I went through like 50 page flips and was like, that's the one. It's slow, it's heavy. I was like, yes. So thank you for saying that. That's huge.
Yeah, because you could just tell. I mean, I loved it because like previous books, way back in the day, they would have the ding, and then you knew you're supposed to turn the page because it would just you would read it along. But your page turn, I'm like, oh, this is so good. So I liked that it wasn't a bell, like Pavlov's dog, like, oh, I got to turn a page now. No, it was so smooth. It was like so you could feel and hear the weight of the page. It was just it was brilliant. And so you guys are going to have to buy this audiobook. Definitely. You have to. You got to do it just so you can hear it. And I got to say, Vincent, I totally see this as because Christmas is coming up, Thanksgiving is coming up. I can see people buying this for their kids. They can watch and hear, and it could help enhance their reading skills because it is written so well.
Thank you.
Like so well. And I can see you going around doing the library readings and all the things. Like this, I can see this in all the schools. I mean, it's so good. Anyway. So you get a question,
Look, June, I think June a little jealous over there. Look, Michelle took off. She said, let me talk to Vince about this audiobook. And Jonas was like, okay.
No, I'm taking notes, man. As Michelle said that, I was thinking about even, as we had talked about adults enjoying this book. And I was thinking about adult literacy programs where they do read books that are, at a child's reading level, and how this would be a book that would be wonderful to have if you're a part of an adult, especially a faith-based adult literacy program where adults are learning to read. This would be a really great book to be able to add to that. And I know that, we've talked about this with friends who do children's church, and even myself going to back in, several years ago when I first started going to church, I learned more from the person doing the children's church than I did from the pastor when I first began, because it was digestible and I could understand it, and it wasn't over my head, until I could catch up. Those were ways that I learned lessons. So I full on, when Michelle said that, I thought, that would be really cool for like an adult literacy program as well, to be able to maybe get some of those books in to those programs. So if there happens to be somebody listening that does that, I would highly recommend grabbing this book and putting it in there. Michelle, I saw, do you have a light bulb on? You had another thought?
Oh, I did. I have, because I could see, not just Elijah being another book or another series, but I could see several of the characters, because you have the Potter, and he could do other things that would guide, children, as a dad, different scriptures. I could see, is it Percy? In my head, I thought that should have been Mercy, but it's Percy, like
Percy
that character.
Yeah,
that character could be doing, other teachings along some other stuff. And then, just the experience of the child because he's brand new. So
Yeah.
He's in great. So all the things that he gets to experience, and then just the father's love, it's just all of it. I could just see so many different. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
What I know about Vincent, what I've learned about you in the short time period that I've known you, is that it's not lip service. You are a purpose-driven person. When God lays out what is to be done, you just go for it. You go after it. So I truly believe our listeners listen. When God said write, he wrote, and Vincent's bringing high quality stuff. Michele and I can tell you a lot of times in the Christian comedy world, people automatically go, "Oh, it's a Christian thing. It's not going to be well done, or it's going to be cheesy, or it's going to be whatever," and they automatically lower their expectations. And Vincent, you have such high expectations for everything that you produce. It is such good quality, and no matter what you do with this, when you say there's other things on the horizon, I fully believe that whatever God reveals to you needs to be next, whether these characters do more or if there's more kind of adaptations of other childhood stories that we grew up with. When you went, oh, Pinocchio is the potter and the clay, it's like, oh, there could be other things out there, and whatever God, what direction he points you in, I know that you go head first into it and you don't look back. And so I think that's inspiring. I think that's really powerful. And we are just blessed to be a little part of this journey and get to see everything that God's doing with this. I do want to ask you this before we let you go. What surprised you the most about this journey of writing your first children's book and going through all this? What is something maybe that you were like, oh, I did not expect that, or I had no idea it would be like this? Is there anything that stands out?
I got to be honest. I don't think I've run into that part yet. With the book just being finished, you and I both know it's a great victory to finish something that you start. It's a lot harder to do that when you're judging your own work.
Yeah.
You just want everybody to enjoy it, and it's unrealistic for everybody to enjoy our projects, because our projects truly are created for everybody, even though we want them to be.
Yeah.
The feedback has been wonderful. This is so delighting. This is such a blessing, just hearing Michele talk about the audiobook and you talk about the illustration. It's moments like these that are still like, it's not just done, but people, it's not just me reading it anymore. It's not just my team reading it. It's not just my family saying, "Hey, Vince, this is good." No, this is like, these are people from the outside finally being able to hear, feel, see, sense what God has placed in my heart. I feel like that's going to catch up to me later. The more feedback there is once we start the tour to go out and do the readings. I can't do the readings like anybody else. I got to play the background with it, and I got to jump from characters' voices, and you got to hear the sound effects. So the readings aren't going to be different than your average reading. It won't just be a narrator sitting there. It's going to be all those moving pieces with the characters and the ins and outs. I feel like once, this is an amazing platform, but I'm getting visions now just sitting here talking to you guys, being on somebody else's morning show, being on the news talking about this and getting the word out. We're getting Christian schools are reaching out now. We got a couple of friends here in Arizona that are connected to Christian schools. I think that's going to open the door and get more publicity. And I think I'm still catching up to what God is doing, and learning how not to be blown away by what God is doing. Just learning how to be like, okay, this is supposed to happen. This is a part of His plan. This was a part of the yes, and just not being like, oh my goodness, what is going on? No, this is all what God wanted to happen. So I think as doors continue to open, as we continue to move forward, obviously my heart's desire is to remain humble, give God the glory, and let what He placed in my heart, let it do what it's supposed to do for the people that it's supposed to do it for. And just, I'm not rushing into the next part of Elijah and the Potter. I want to sit in this space as long as I can.
Yeah.
And just watch God do His amazing work, which He's started. and just continue to see it all unfold and celebrate all the small victories as well as the big victories. The small victories are the ones that are huge for me. It's like I looked at my wife the other day and I was like, the book. So here's the crazy thing. We're on the interview with you guys now, and I have not yet had the hard copy book in my hands.
Oh yeah.
My publisher texted me this morning and said the book should be in today. So I'm probably more than likely going to get off this interview and go look at the tracker and see what time that book should be landing. I'll be going to social media to say, hey guys, I finally got the book in my hands. So it's the process is still growing. It's still processing. It's like people are reading the book and I don't even have the hard copy in my hands yet. Like, what are we doing? So it's all overwhelming. It's all joyful, and God is leading the charge. I'm just grateful that He said, "Hey, Vince, this is the story I want you to tell."
Michele, we missed such a big moment. It would have been great if like your wife had it and you didn't know it. And we were like, oh, Vincent, who's that at the door? Knock, knock, knock. Here's the heart. That would have been the best interview moment ever. Man, we missed it. We missed it by that much.
I think she might be, it might be coming in today. I think we're going to be able to see it and hold it. I want to hold it. I want to hold the book in my hands. I want to be able to see it and flip the pages for myself and say, here it is. So the book is out for pre-order right now. And a lot of people have it in their hands around October the 18th, which is where we're doing our official Arizona release coming up really soon. And it's going to be another level of like, what? So I think I've yet to see the part that's like, whoa. Yeah, all of it is whoa to me. Everything. Seeing the narration was a whoa moment. The book being finalized and edited was a whoa moment. Getting it casted as a voice for the voiceover people, that was a whoa moment. Getting in the studio, and we have behind the scene footage of the studio sessions, and it's a whole documented thing. That was a wow moment. Being on here with you guys is a wow moment. Everything is a wow moment for me. So I've been feeling it, and I think I'm going to continue to feel it for a long time.
So what I'm hearing is we're going to be on a documentary. Awesome.
Yeah.
I love this. I love this so much.
I think we should find a way to do Elijah and the Powder on the Road with June and Michele.
That would be awesome.
I concur. I think that is a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
Here's my thought.
Okay.
What if you made little puppets and or marionettes of the characters? Boom. Just saying.
There you go.
We're talking merch now. We're talking dolls. We're talking pillows. We're talking t-shirts. We're talking all the things merch-wise, because I keep seeing this, and it's growing and it's growing and it's growing, and it's bigger than just these few books. It's bigger than that. It's all the things. All the things.
Michelle's our dream big friend.
Trademark it now, buddy. Trademark it now.
I love it. That's a yes for me. That's a yes for me. That's like the next. And once again, see, it's all these different avenues, it's all these different doors, right? I think our little minds sometimes can get stuck in, the book is done, and then you start meeting with people and start talking with people like you guys and other creatives, and it's like, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? Like, not yet, but I like it. I love it.
Yeah. This is quality. Vincent, your product is quality. And I really think it goes back to what God told you was just right. Don't worry about the rest of the stuff, just right. Do what God was anointing you to do. And because of that, and because you followed that, this product is quality. Absolutely quality. And because of that, now it can grow with more things. Just saying.
Can you imagine a little kiddo just holding onto their little Elijah doll, just holding the? That'd be amazing.
I can see it. I want to give you guys a small homework assignment. I want you guys to read the dedication page.
Oh, you know what? I did.
It was to
Did
the
you?
children.
Page, so I know I know, but Michelle, yeah, you have to read the dedication page. Yeah, yep. I didn't even think about that.
I'm probably going to put out a video of myself reading the dedication page as a documented moment.
Yeah,
Being able to talk to my children
yeah,
Mhm.
that are not born yet.
yeah,
Yeah.
That yeah, God did something there. Every part of the book makes you sit back and say, I want to just do things right. I want to do things
mm,
that quality you're talking about, Michelle. You want to feel that quality throughout every area. So when Pastor Kelly, my publisher, said, hey, do you want to do a dedication page? I'm like, absolutely. And then I got off the phone, like, what the heck? Who am I gonna dedicate it to? What am I gonna say? There are certain people in my life that mean more to me than money, stuff. You know, well, obviously, everybody in my life means more to me than stuff and money. Like I said that kind of wrong. But what I'm saying is the value of authentic relationships and the people that God placed around me,
Mhm.
and the children that I have not produced yet, and I know they're coming really soon. These are the kind of stories that I want them to enjoy growing up. This
yeah,
is the kind of story I want my children to say, we grew up on that Elijah and the Potter, you
yes,
know, and then we read the book and we heard the audio book and we saw the movie and then we saw the extension and all the different versions of Elijah and the Potter. I want this to be the kind of story that guide them and that helps cultivate their youth and their introduction. Elijah and the Potter is the introduction to salvation to children
Mm.
mhm,
in a very colorful, beautiful, fun-filled way. I want kids to walk away saying, when they're in school, where if Elijah did this and that happened,
mhm,
let me move right. If my
yeah,
father said this and Elijah disobeyed his dad, and this would let
mhm,
me. So I want to teach those lessons, but I can definitely see the merch. I can definitely see the dolls.
mhm.
Yeah, my heart is full right now, and yeah, it's gonna be this is my first live. No, I'm sorry, this is my second interview. But this is my second interview, but this is special. This is going down in the history books for me because I'll be able to look back and say these guys helped me get started getting the word out. So thank you guys.
Well, listen, folks, Vincent's heart is full. We want his pockets to end up full as well after this
Yeah.
adventure. So listen, we need you to be following Vincent, right? We need you to purchase this book. We need you to follow this journey and support everything that he's doing. Michelle, if you'll scroll across the bottom of the screen, we'd love to share with you guys how you can find Vincent. Is it scrolling already? Let me
Yes.
see.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay. My screen was too big. All right. So you can go to Vincent Rutley on Instagram, Vince Rut TV on YouTube, Vince Rut on Facebook, and at Vincent Rutley on TikTok to find more information. Even listen, even the rollouts, even the teasers, even the clips that he's showing on social media are high quality as well. It's pretty impressive. And so, guys, this book, Elijah and the Potter by Vincent Rutley, you're going to be able to get that on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Kindle, and Audible. Okay. So no excuses. You can get it. You can get it a little bit of anywhere. Audiobook, get the hard copy of it, man. This is one of those books that I think I have books that my kids had that I still have on the shelf that I'm going to read to my grandkids that I just treasured that were so beautiful when they were younger that I want to share with my grandkids one day. This is one of those books, folks, that once you get it, you're going to want to get 2 copies, one for the child that you love and one for yourself to be able to share it from generation to generation. Vincent, we are so grateful to be a part of this journey, honored that you allowed us to be able to interview you and talk about the book. By the time this airs, friends, this book is out and available for purchase. So again, make sure that you check out Vincent Rutley. We love you. And Michelle, what do you think? We're going to kick him to the back. Anything to say before he goes?
Before I kick you to the back, June, you just said this is a book you're going to want to get more than one copy. And that's true. I love when I read to a class or things like that, or just to my grandkid, I like having a copy and they can have a copy. So as I'm reading, then they can turn their own pages versus them trying to rip it out of my own hands. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mhm.
and then you got to do the turn and you got to show them the pictures. No, you all have your own copies. We'll turn the page at the same time. Here we
Yes.
go.
There you go. Vincent, thank you so much for being on the show. We love and appreciate you, friend.
My friends, thank you so much. Love and appreciate you.
All right, Michele, what about
Okay.
that?
I'm moving them. I'm moving them.
Oh,
I'm
get out of
slow.
here. Vincent, come on. Enough already.
Oh,
Get out of here.
and you just had a birthday, so happy birthday, man. All right.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, Michele. Listen, I'm
Woo.
so hyped. I can't wait to buy it. I've got twin nephews that I know are going to love it. They're going to
Yes.
listen to this book. So, yeah, what an awesome interview. Again, guys, also make sure you go back, listen to Vincent on Laugh Support, season 2, episode 35, and you can hear even more about Vincent's story. It'll just make you want the book even more. I promise that. Okay, Michele, the tip of the week. Let's do that real quick. June's tip of the week: change the ending. So a lot of times I think we get stuck in a certain chapter in our life, and we get, speaking of books, or we get hung up in a moment of where we're at and what's going on. And sometimes if we look forward, we can actually change the ending. We can make things more positive if we look at things through a different set of eyes, right? Through a different lens. We talked about earlier that you can take a bad day and you can actually make it a really funny story later. So just know that most of the things that you're going through in life, it's temporary. Sometimes it's not even a chapter, friends. It's just a sentence or a paragraph. So don't get stuck on one page, and know that we serve a God who's willing and able to turn the page into a brand new chapter with a brand new ending. All right. And Michele, go ahead with your goofy joke today, and I'll pretend to laugh.
And you pretend to laugh. Wow.
I'm
Okay.
working on my acting skills for when Vincent cast me in one of his upcoming productions. So here we go. I'm going to pretend this is hilarious. Go ahead.
All right. Well, this joke is from one of my third graders I've been working with.
Oh, see, unfair. Unfair at the dirty pool when you come at me with a third grader, because it's definitely funny when the third grader does it. But go ahead.
All right. June, did you hear about the new squirrel's diet?
No, Michele, I have not heard about the new squirrel's diet.
It's nuts.
Okay, friends, that's the end of this episode of the Laugh Support Podcast. Again, follow Vincent Rutley. Make sure you're following us at the Laugh Support Podcast. Get Michele. You can follow her at Michelle's Comedy, and I am mostly Junebug's Comedy, or Junebug Comedy. So yeah, that's it for this episode. Jesus and Junebug loves you, and Michele, tell them goodbye.
Goodbye. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next time. Ciao, ciao.